Shalom, beloved ones. Shalom, hello. Hey guys. If I look really tired or like I've been crying or something, I promise you that is not the case. I'm actually doing really well. Here's a funny story. So my goal for 2023 was to take better care of my skin, and that included wearing no makeup. I hardly wear makeup anyways, but just none of it. And then I haven't, right? Today I thought, well, I'm gonna maybe just a teeny tiny bit, it's a ladies thing, okay? I know the guys wouldn't understand this, but it's a ladies thing. And I forgot, because I haven't worn it in so long. I forgot I had it on. So then I smeared it all over my eyes, and it looks like I'm like, oh, looks like I'm dying, I feel like. But no, I'm really good. I'm actually doing really quite amazing. But I also thought about this, the last video I posted where I was all excited about a new channel, and then the one before that I'm telling you guys, I don't know if I'm gonna be on YouTube hardly ever, and I was like, these guys are probably wondering what is going on. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, I really don't know that I will be on, YouTube hardly, at least for this channel, because on this channel I feel like every time I make a video, and it's true, I put so much of my heart into it, and I really give my time to it. But with this new channel I started, at least at this point, it's, all the videos are short, sweet, and simple, and tips and stuff. I can't say that there's not going to be longer videos later, maybe as I practice more in editing and and stuff like that. The other thing was, for the homesteading, living sort of video or channel, I have debated whether or not to announce it on here publicly. I know some people I know who I didn't even tell them about it have found it, just because I'm all over the internet anyways. I mean, I started YouTube many years ago, and I've been very prolific on it. As you all know, those of you who have been longtime subscribers, and I thank you all for you who have been longtime subscribers, even if you don't watch every video, even if you're not always here. It's awesome to know that there's people who support me like that out there. Those of you who still support me through PayPal to support, I feel like it's not just me, it's really not, it's what God has given. And the whole homesteading type channel is really the other side of my life, as I briefly shared, because I do believe that I have shared with you all my faith in word, and the homesteading life is my faith in action. Because in order to take care of ourselves, we gotta love ourselves, we gotta love God and love ourselves if we're gonna take care of ourselves properly. It's not that you can't take care of yourself, even if you don't love God, but there's always going to be a void, there's always going to be something empty. And I've talked to many people who've come to know the Lord from an agnostic background, atheist background, even people who were very successful financially, business-like in the world. They always had a slight, a lack of purpose, because even though they had this drivenness, there wasn't a purpose to it. And so, and healthy people who are up into health too, I tell you what, beloved, when God is not at the center, it's just empty. It's really empty. And that's true for me as someone who has loved the Lord for years. I know that there's been times in my life where I have been not in the right, and it's been an empty feeling because God was not at the center of it. Which brings me to something else. I came across an old comment on, not even this channel, my music channel. It's sort of weird. I randomly came across this comment, and it was a lady who had, I'm not going to say names or anything like that. And her comment is out there. She put it out there, but it was a lady saying, not saying something positive about a song that I did, being very negative, critical, just really not nice, to be honest. And, I don't think I never looked from that comment to her channel, and today I did. And I was surprised, because from that comment she gave, it was, I was being forgiving in my heart, thinking, well, she doesn't know the Lord personally. So, you know, she's gonna talk nasty like that because that's the way people talk in the world. Sometimes people who are not walking with God directly, God is wisdom, God's watching them, still possess great wisdom to share with us who have been walking with the Lord forever. And so when I went to her channel, the video, she posted a video about 4 or 5 months ago, and in that video she's talking about how God's been doing great things in her life and this and that. And here's the thing, beloved, it's possible that from the time she left that comment to now, her life has changed. I mean, that is a possibility. But what got me, though, is that if that's not the case, we can talk about God all we want. We can go to a service all we want. But if the love of God, like God's love for other people, isn't there, it means nothing. Because, beloved, if I had not been close to the Lord and I had read that comment and I had found out that she was supposedly a believer, I would have been like, I don't want to have anything to do with this, God, you know? That is the weight that we carry. And so we are supposed to be watchful what we say, what we do. You know, putting other people down, that's not what Yeshua did. That's not what Yeshua does. That's not what's in the Word. We got to get with the program. All of us. I'm speaking to myself too because I'm not perfect. I say that all the time because I can't say it enough. I have people be like, "Oh, you play the harp," and "Oh, you're sweet," and I'm like, guys, gals, I'm human. I'm just a human. I'm not, you know, just because I play the harp doesn't mean anything angelic necessarily. Let's say necessarily. It doesn't. I mean, because angels do play the harp, right? I get that. But for me, I am human. Yeah. And I'm like everybody else. The light, though, the light that people are drawn to, that they see in me, is the Lord. Because even in my imperfectness, He has chosen me, which I'm very grateful for, very thankful for. So, yeah, I've been debating whether or not to show you guys that other channel, because of the connections with this channel and people who I don't want them to follow, if you know what I mean, the whole stalker past issue that I've had. I know a lot of you have been on that journey with me, praying for me. That is my concern. So, what I'm going to do, I think I did this for the last channel I had started, and again, people could find this channel, I'm sure, if they looked hard enough, but is if you want to follow on my new channel that has to do with, you know, good, clean living, healthy living, homestead life, please email the email that I have, my public email on here. Please email that email address that is on here, and I will send you a link to that YouTube channel. Like I said, I'm doing it this way to avoid, you know, followings from, unfortunately, people who want harm and not blessings for my life. So, I mean, I'm very thankful that I haven't had anything come up that has been startling, Baruch Hashem. But again, I mean, when things are hard, we know that we're doing something right? Because God is with us. Here's the other thing. I've waited to save this, the best for last. I mean, it is a very, it's a hard thing to read, but this is so real, guys. So I did ask for permission from this friend to share this, what they wrote, but I didn't ask permission if I can say their name or not. Completely forgot about it, and I'm already recording. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm sure this isn't the last time I'm going to want to share something he's written, I'm not going to say his name, and then I'll ask the next time. But I'll say that a friend of mine wrote this post, and I think it's really important, as many of you are not a stranger to the fact that I identify with the Messianic community. I grew up, you know, practicing Messianic Judaism, but as I also shared in one of my recent videos, I'm at a point in my life where it's like my identity is beyond any label. We all, as humans, we want to put labels on people, but you know, there is a difference between the traditional church and a Messianic Jewish synagogue. I see it that way. But I also see that in heaven, there's no dividers, there's no separate denominations. Those of us who have faith in our King, we're all there. Which is why it's kind of funny in a way that some people are like, oh, come to my church or come to my synagogue. It's better. It's the right way. This is the way. This is the only way. And I'm like, really? Really? Because when we get to heaven, I mean, there's not going to be separate little buildings here and buildings here. And, you know, the people who dress with their hair all covered over here, the people who only wear suits to church over here, the Messianic Jews who only wear, or all wear tzitzit over here, and then the ones where women wear only dresses over here, and the ones where women can wear jeans and men can wear shorts. I wasn't raised that way, but whatever, over here. It's not like that, okay? We're all going to be together. And so, yes, that is why I say that. But this, okay, so if you, as I read this post, take it as us as a body of believers, regardless of your background, regardless of where you are right now, even if you're not attending any congregation. Let me read this with you, okay? So this is what my friend wrote, and I just want you to just, you know, meditate on this, think about this, share this, because this is true. I want you to think about this with the kind of kind of services that are going on in so many places right now. So this is what he says. The first century Messianic community was used by the Spirit to bring people to Messiah Yeshua. Amen. The truth was demonstrated by miracles, signs, and wonders, but most of all, his love. Amen. Today's church relies on smoke and mirrors, sometimes literally. We throw around words like production and engagement, but what the world sees is a show, many times devoid of his presence and power. To be sure, not all congregations are like this, but sadly most are. At best, it's going through the motions, and at worst, it's counterfeit. We must, as a Messianic community, focus on God's Spirit leading our ministry, rather than relying on performance and production. This is not to say we can't stream or record worship and messages. I'm not saying don't ensure things are lit adequately, etc. What I am saying is that if people want to be entertained, they have concert halls and movie theaters to attend to find that. People come to our congregations to commune with him and to see if this God we speak of is for real. Yes. This is something that's been on my heart for a long time, especially me being a singer, a harpist, a musician, songwriter. To this day, even people who've known me for years, they still say, well, how did that go? How did that performance go? I get it that people associate me with sharing music as a performance, but there are the few people who know that it's never a performance for me. When I get up on that stage or that platform and I sing my heart out and I play that harp, I am having an intimate moment of worship with God. It doesn't matter how many people are in the room. And I have been in situations where there are so many people in an auditorium. I've been in small groups too. I've had the blessing of getting to play music in both situations, small and big. And no matter what, it is always for our King. Every time. And so for me, because I understand it that way, I cannot tell people this is a performance. I do understand, though, that desire that we have in this society now where people want to be entertained. And God, I believe, can actually use that for his glory. People who have the gift of entertaining, that can be incorporated into speaking. I believe that. But here's what I see, and I don't want to take anything away from what he's written. I'm just sharing with you guys my thoughts, though, with this, is that so many churches now, I don't see it so much in Messianic communities, but I know I've seen this in churches, are so focused on flashing lights, colorful lights, loud rock star type sound effects to bring in young people, or to bring in any age really, because we have done studies. Our attention span has become so short now. So that's what's been taking place. But it's all a facade. When we go back to Yeshua walking the earth and sharing with people, there was none of that. There was no flashing lights. There was no rock star music. He was sharing words of love and actions of love with people, and people just came by the thousands, beloved. And they just followed, and they walked. I mean, now people complain about driving more than 20 minutes to get to someplace, right? People walked miles and miles and miles, came. So you don't need flashing lights and loud music, you know, stage theater type music to bring people to God. In fact, that turns people away from God, because once they start to get past that and realize, well, what's really here that's different from the rest of the world, they find out nothing. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully they do find God. But you know what I'm saying? There is nothing. We need God's love. We need what's real. He is not in he's not in TikTok. He's not in Facebook. I mean, yes, God can use these things to bring people to him. I've seen that, weirdly enough, in a way, because it's like strange, these modern technology things we have, social media we have. But the root of what is real, it goes back to Yeshua's love, the signs, the wonders, the healings. That's what's real. God's love. Amen. So, I'll get off my soapbox now, and just really encouraged. I mean, it's hard thing to realize, but yet it's encouraging too to find out that there are more people than maybe most realize who are on board with that, understanding that it's not about the big production type look and sounds. I myself am, I've turned away. I've not come back to places that were loud and, you know, but I'm encouraged to know that, you know, it touches some people. I know that. That's why we have so many different places to go to worship, because different people are drawn to different things. I get that too. But the heart of it is definitely the Lord's love, and not a theater production. I mean, so yes, that's all I wanted to share. Yeah. I love you all, and I hope you are doing amazing. I am doing well, Baruch Hashem. I am down to one job now, or one job and music, so it's 2 jobs really. I think I said this already before, but I'm thankful because it's a little bit easier to navigate now. And hopefully to do more with music this year. So if you have a congregation or a place that you are wanting some music, God has blessed me with a vehicle now that I can travel with far and wide, and I also got an excellent guard dog. And but you know, talk to your congregational leaders. I have a class that I ask for to share. You know, I mean, so basically what I do is I share the worship music. I've got some albums out and I share the worship music, and if there's time or if it's allowed, I share my testimony too sometimes. But I ask for a certain amount to help cover the cost of the travel, the stay, a love offering, and an opportunity to sell my albums. So if that's something that your congregation would be interested in having me, I also have references too, so that your congregation doesn't know or doesn't think I'm just some random nomadic woman. I have people who've known me since I was little, pastors, rabbis, people who can be references for you and your congregation, because it is important. It is important to not just bring in random strange people into your congregation, especially for a time of worship. So feel free to email for that. And yeah, I love you all. Shalom, shalom, Shavua Tov. And also, I guess tomorrow's gonna be Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so blessings for that. Truly, he was truly a blessing to all of us. And I'll say this too, before I let you all go. We have another kind of persecution taking place today that nobody, or I shouldn't say nobody, not enough people are passionately fighting against. And that is human trafficking. Guys, that makes me so upset. It is literally slavery, our modern day slavery. And I just don't understand. There's not enough angry people for it to fight against it. And I wish there was. That's what I'm thinking about when I think about this Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I'm thinking about freedoms, and I'm thinking about how many people are taken captive for this evil, evil slavery of human trafficking. So, need to pray, need to share with people, speak up. And if you see something suspicious, don't be afraid to act on it. Might just save someone's life. I know someone that was on the news not that long ago, a flight attendant, just saved a little girl from human trafficking because she was about to be taken. So, really glad she's okay. Anyways, that's all. Love you all. Shalom, shalom.